Good afternoon from London, and it is a slightly cooler afternoon here and quite dry. And hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK and official delegate of the KFA for the UK, and president of the Association for the Study of Songun politics. Today, 27th of July, is the 69th anniversary of the victory of the Korean people in the Great Fatherland Liberation War against the US imperialist aggressors, the sworn enemy of the Korean people and world progressive and revolutionary people. Next year, it will be the 70th anniversary of the victory in the Fatherland Liberation War. It seems like only yesterday when I was in Pyongyang for the 60th anniversary of Fatherland Liberation War victory in July 2013, when a splendid military parade was held. I can remember the helicopters flying dexterously and skillfully through the streets and into Kim Il-sung Square, circling and then coming back. In the evening there was a wonderful firework display. No doubt there will be massive celebrations of the 70th anniversary of the victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War. July 27th is very important to the Korean people, as it is regarded by the Korean people as the second Liberation Day, the first being August 15th, when Korea was liberated from Japanese imperialist colonial rule, thanks to the armed struggle waged under the banner of the Great Juche Idea and led by the great leader, President Kim Il-sung. It is not only important to the Korean people, but to the world progressive and revolutionary people, because it was the first time that US imperialism was stopped in its tracks and defeated. The US had been on the winning side in both the First and Second World Wars. It had been victorious in the many wars of aggression that it had launched. When the imperialists provoked the Fatherland Liberation War on the 25th of June 1950, and subsequently threw huge armed forces into the war, including those of 15 of its satellite countries, including, to our shame and disgrace, Britain, few people expected the DPRK to even survive, let alone win. However, the DPRK, under the leadership of the great leader Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, and guided by the Juche Idea, held firm and did not go under. The attack of the South Korean fascist puppets was repulsed and turned into a rout. The South Korean puppet capital, Seoul, was captured on the third day of the war, and by the end of July 1950, most of South Korea had been liberated. Today, a certain big country has been unable to overcome a fascist regime in a neighbouring country. After several months, the Korean People's Army was able to quickly defeat the South Korean puppets and their masters, the US imperialists, due to Juche-based war tactics, the militant, revolutionary spirit of the soldiers, and the brilliant commanding art of Generalissimo Kim Il-sung. The heroic and invincible Korean People's Army, commanded by great Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, tore the guts out of the US imperialist aggressor army. The US imperialists had no choice but to kneel down and sign an armistice agreement on the 27th of July 1953, which included a proviso for the withdrawal of US troops from South Korea. And I think it's important to add as an aside that the US actually reneged on that part of the Korean armistice agreement and failed to withdraw their troops from the south of Korea. The US imperialists lost over 1,567,128 troops, including 498,000 of their own troops, over 1 million South Korean puppet troops, and 30,665 soldiers of their satellite states who were either killed, wounded or captured, and over 10,000 airplanes, including the Air Fortress B-29 were downed, damaged or captured, and a huge amount of military hardware was lost. 564 warships, including the heavy cruiser Baltimore and the flagship of the 7th Fleet Missouri, were sunk or damaged. The loss suffered by the US imperialists was nearly 2.3 times greater than what they'd suffered in the 4 years of the Pacific War during World War II. Even US statistics showed that during each of the 3 years of the Korean War, they lost double the number of troops for each year of the Vietnam War. US General Dean, the commander of the US 24th Division, was captured at Daejeon. He tried to run away once the US Army were defeated, put on the uniform of an ordinary soldier, but was actually captured by a young soldier of the Korean People's Army. US Generals Walker and Moore were killed. US General Mark Clark lamented mournfully he was the first US commander to conclude an armistice without a victory. Even right-wing conservative British historian Max Hastings, who used to be the editor of the Telegraph, wrote, "Many American career officers were dismayed by the precedent Korea established. The United States had failed to fight a war to a victorious conclusion." It is a fact that no leftist, socialist or communist movement can ever be successful without defeating and destroying US imperialism, the chieftain of world reaction. Anything else is complete naivety, or liberalism, or revisionism. By inflicting such a massive defeat on US imperialism, the Korean people, led by the great leader Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, made a great contribution to the world revolution. The US imperialists had waged a counter-revolutionary war in Korea with the aim of rolling back socialism and communism. The US and other imperialists, by fighting a war in Korea, had aimed not only to destroy the young people's democracy of the DPRK, but to crush the Chinese Revolution and even attack or weaken the USSR, not to mention eliminating the rising communist movement in Asia. The DPRK made an invaluable contribution to the socialist camp, punching way above its weight. The echoes of the DPRK's victory resound today, and the spirit of July 27th is alive in People's Korea, led by respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. If the US imperialists start another war in Korea, then the Korean people will win final victory over the US imperialists and reunify the country. Glory to July 27th, day of victory of the Korean people. Long live dear respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. Long live the Workers' Party of Korea. Long live the Korean People's Army. Long live the Juche Idea, long live the Songun idea. Thank you for listening to this video. If you're not already a subscriber to our channel, Songun 007, please consider subscribing, and also to our affiliated channel, Korean Friendship Association of the UK. And you can support us by participating in our events, both online and in real life. We will be having a picket of the US Imperialist Embassy on the 6th of August, and you can find the details on our Facebook page. And also we have our Literature and Poetry evening on July 30th, and I'm sure we will plan events for August and September. You can also support us and learn about the truth about people's career by checking out our publications spot on lulu.com. I will put a link in the description. Thank everyone for their support, and hope to see you again, and have a great day. July 27th, Victory Day of the DPRK. Goodbye.